The phone call was recorded at 11:47 p.m., and what Jennifer Gledhill said next would seal her fate forever.
On September 28th, Jennifer Gledhill called police to report her husband, Matthew Johnson, missing.
The disappearance of Matthew Johnson, a Utah father and husband, and the arrest of his wealthy wife, Jennifer Gledhill, for first-degree murder.
Jen in our home before and, breaking bread with them. And then it turned out that she's responsible for his death. It was shocking, frankly.
Hi everyone, my name is Sophie, and today we're going to take a look at another horrible case with you. Jennifer Gledhill and Matthew Johnson seemed to have it all. Living in their $1 million home in Cottonwood Heights, Utah, they appeared to be the perfect family, a devoted military husband and a caring mother raising their 3 children, aged 11, 7, and 5. Matthew, 51, was a respected member of the Utah National Guard's 19th Special Forces Group, a Green Beret who had served his country with honor for over a decade. His fellow soldiers described him as brilliant, reliable, and someone you could always count on for answers. Jennifer, 42, was seen as a devoted mother and supportive military wife who many of Matthew's friends described as nice, kind of a homebody. The family lived quietly in their upscale neighborhood, and to the outside world, everything seemed normal. But beneath the surface of this seemingly perfect marriage, cracks had begun to form months earlier. The couple had been considering divorce since July 2024, and court documents revealed a highly dysfunctional relationship that had been deteriorating for some time. In August 2024, Jennifer filed for a temporary protective order against Matthew, claiming she needed protection from her husband. However, when the case went before the court, the judge made a decision that would prove to be fatally significant. 3rd District Commissioner Russell Minus examined the evidence Jennifer presented and found that the videos she submitted actually showed her as unafraid and equally confrontational toward him. The commissioner noted that text messages from Jennifer to Matthew were repeatedly berating, belittling, and demeaning, if not outright attempting to goad him into a violent response. On September 16th, 2024, just days before the tragedy that would shatter their family forever, Commissioner Minus dismissed the protective order, ruling that no abuse had occurred. He wrote something that now seems hauntingly prophetic. The conduct of the parties over the past several months is representative of a highly dysfunctional marriage bringing out the worst in the parties, clearly suggestive that an action for divorce should have been filed long before reaching the current state of affairs. What the commissioner didn't know was that Jennifer had already made a decision that would ensure divorce proceedings would never be necessary. In the weeks leading up to September 2024, Matthew's behavior began to change dramatically. According to his friends, Jennifer's erratic behavior had become so disturbing that Matthew spent much of the final weeks of his life sleeping at a National Guard facility out of concerns about his safety. In one of his last conversations with his longtime friend, retired Utah National Guardsman Kevin Thompson, Matthew had really come to the conclusion that a divorce needs to happen, and it is time to move on. But Matthew never got the chance to move on. What Matthew didn't fully realize was that Jennifer had been living a double life. She was having an affair with another man, someone who would later become the key to unraveling the entire case. This wasn't just a casual fling. It was an intense relationship that consumed Jennifer's thoughts and emotions. On September 19th, 2024, just 2 days before the murder, Jennifer showed her lover something that should have been a warning sign. She displayed a loaded gun to him, a Glock 19X that she kept in their home. At the time, he probably thought nothing of it. After all, many military families owned firearms. But prosecutors would later reveal that Jennifer had been calculating and methodical in her planning. She had arranged for their 3 children to stay at her parents' house the night she planned to kill their father. The stage was being set for a confrontation that would end in tragedy. September 20th, 2024, started like any other day, but by evening, the fragile facade of the Johnson-Gledhill marriage would finally crumble. Matthew had discovered the truth about his wife's affair, and witnesses would later report hearing a heated argument between the couple that night. According to Jennifer's later confession, Matthew confronted her, yelling at her, because he knew she had been sleeping with someone else. The argument was intense, with years of marital problems finally exploding into the open. But what happened next would haunt everyone who learned about it. In the early hours of September 21st, 2024, as Matthew lay sleeping in their master bedroom, completely vulnerable and unaware of the danger he was in, Jennifer made a decision that would destroy multiple families forever. She took his own 9mm handgun and shot her husband in the head while he slept. According to her own confession, she then put Matthew's body into a rooftop storage container, sliding it down the stairs of their home before loading it into the back of their minivan. She smashed his phone and drove his truck to a nearby neighborhood, abandoning it blocks from their home. Then, in what can only be described as a methodical cover-up, Jennifer drove north with her husband's body and buried him in a shallow grave at a location that remains unknown to this day. When she returned home, she began an extensive cleanup operation. She bleached the walls, used carpet cleaning supplies throughout the master bedroom, and ordered a new mattress to replace the blood-soaked one where Matthew had been killed. The mattress arrived just 2 days later, but Jennifer's most critical mistake was yet to come. On September 22nd, just before midnight, Jennifer showed up at her lover's home and made a confession that would ultimately lead to her arrest. She told him everything: how she had killed Matthew, how she had disposed of his body, and how she had cleaned up the crime scene. The man noticed bruises on Jennifer's body during their conversation, and when he asked about them, she casually explained that she had gotten them while burying her husband and cleaning the house of evidence. Her lover was terrified by what he had heard. This woman he thought he knew had just confessed a cold-blooded murder with an almost casual demeanor. The truth was about to come out, and it was worse than anyone imagined. Jennifer's lover was so disturbed by her confession that he decided to record their next phone conversation. When he told Jennifer that he was frightened by what she had told him, her response was chilling, and would become one of the most haunting pieces of evidence in the case. "Wow, if you think I could even hurt a fly," she said. "Like he's not a person. He wasn't a person anymore. He wasn't Matt." The cold detachment in her voice was unmistakable. She had dehumanized her husband so completely that his death meant nothing to her. But Jennifer's disturbing revelations didn't stop there. When her lover asked if she would be afraid if the situation were reversed, Jennifer replied, "Not if I deserved it. I always preached that I was like the Queen of Hearts in my past lives because I'm like off with their heads. I'm like, if we could just round up the scum of this earth and put them on an island, or just kill them all, I could shipshape this country back to a good place." Jennifer also asked her lover not to think of her as a monster and to remember who she was before she opened her mouth. The irony was not lost. She was asking for understanding after confessing to murdering the father of her children in cold blood. What made this conversation even more significant was that it took place before Matthew was officially reported missing. Jennifer was already referring to her husband in the past tense, even though no one else knew he was dead. 6 days after her confession to her lover, Jennifer finally reported Matthew missing to police. She told them that Matthew had said he would be gone for a week and told her not to call him. Meanwhile, the Utah National Guard had already begun searching for Matthew when he failed to report for duty on September 23rd. But unbeknownst to Jennifer, her lover had been collecting evidence against her. He had taken screenshots of their text messages and recorded their phone conversations. On October 2nd, 2024, he finally contacted police with information that would crack the case wide open. What happened next would shock even the most seasoned investigators. When Cottonwood Heights police executed a search warrant on the Johnson-Gledhill home on September 28th, they discovered a scene that told a very different story than the one Jennifer had been telling. In the master bedroom, investigators found a large blood-stained spot in the carpet underneath the bed. Blood was also found on the bed frame slats, which corroborated exactly what Jennifer had told her lover. The house reeked of bleach, and there were reddish-brown spots on the walls, bed frame, and blinds. Most tellingly, the mattress in the bedroom was brand new. Phone records would later show that Jennifer had ordered it on September 24th, just 3 days after the murder, and it had been delivered 2 days later. During the investigation, police also discovered GPS data from Jennifer's phone showing her movements on September 21st and 22nd. The data showed her travelling to the location where Matthew's truck was found at around 6 a.m., and later tracking her journey north toward Davis County, exactly where she claimed to have buried his body. On October 2nd, 2024, armed with the recorded confessions and physical evidence, police arrested Jennifer Gledhill on charges of first-degree murder and obstruction of justice. But the investigation was far from over. On October 24th, 2024, Jennifer's parents, Thomas Gledhill, 71, and Rosalie Gledhill, 67, were also arrested and charged with 4 counts of obstruction of justice. Police discovered that the couple had spent over 5 hours at Jennifer's house in late September, despite initially claiming they were only there for less than an hour to pick up clothing. Investigators found that Rosalie had purchased the new mattress and had her phone remotely reset, losing all data about her whereabouts during the cleanup period. When police questioned Thomas about the master bedroom and alleged cleanup, he told them, "I did not go in where the incident happened," inadvertently revealing knowledge of a crime scene. During a search of the parents' home, police found a Glock 19X gun box wrapped in a child's onesie inside a plastic tote near Jennifer's bedroom. The container matched the description of the gun Jennifer had shown to her lover on September 19th. The family had tried to cover up the perfect murder, but their web of lies was quickly unraveling. Months have passed since Jennifer's arrest, but Matthew Johnson's body remains missing. Extensive search efforts have covered multiple counties, extending from Davis and Weber counties all the way to Box Elder County near the Utah-Idaho border. Over 70 searchers have participated in the ongoing efforts to find Matthew, including law enforcement, volunteers, and Matthew's own military friends who have organised their own search parties. As his friend Kevin Thompson said, the fact that the search is now in its 5th month keeps them up at night. John Hash, Matthew's fellow Green Beret who served with him for 12 years, has been frustrated by the ongoing search efforts. He said, "Having had Jen in our home before, breaking bread with them, it turned out she's responsible for his death. It was shocking, frankly." During recent court hearings, prosecutors revealed that a vehicle storage container had been found floating in water, and it contained Johnson's blood inside. This discovery provided additional physical evidence linking Jennifer to the crime, but Matthew's body still hasn't been recovered. The search continues to expand across northern Utah as investigators follow every lead, hoping to finally bring Matthew home to his family. They were about to discover a secret Jennifer had hoped would never see the light of day. Jennifer Gledhill has pleaded not guilty to all charges against her. She faces 1 count of first-degree murder, 5 counts of obstruction of justice, 1 count of possession of a controlled substance, 1 count of abuse or desecration of a human body, and 1 count of tampering with a witness. During her bail hearing, prosecutors argued that Jennifer posed a significant danger to the community and to the integrity of the investigation. They revealed that she had told her lover she would shoot herself before going to jail, demonstrating both her desperation and potential for further violence. The judge sided with prosecutors and denied Jennifer's request for bail, noting that she posed a risk to the community. She remains in custody at the Salt Lake County Jail. Adding another layer of complexity to the case is the question of Matthew's $500,000 Prudential life insurance policy, with Jennifer named as the beneficiary. With Jennifer facing murder charges and Matthew's body still missing, Prudential has asked the court to determine who should receive the money. Jennifer's trial is scheduled to begin on December 8th, 2025, and is expected to last 8 days. Perhaps the most heartbreaking aspect of this case is the 3 children who have lost both parents, 1 to murder and 1 to prison. Matthew Johnson's family has released a statement through their victim representative saying, "We are hopeful that we will find Matt soon, or that Jennifer or someone will come forward with the location of his body so we can properly lay him to rest. The prosecution's theory is straightforward but chilling. Jennifer Gledhill killed her husband because he discovered her affair and she wanted to be free to pursue her relationship with her lover. Rather than go through a messy divorce that might have resulted in shared custody and financial obligations, she chose murder. As we await Jennifer Gledhill's trial in December 2025, one question haunts everyone involved in this case. How does a mother of 3 justify destroying so many lives for the sake of an affair? Perhaps we'll never fully understand the depths of Jennifer Gledhill's selfishness and cruelty. What we do know is that her actions have created wounds that will never fully heal. Justice may eventually be served, but Matthew Johnson will never come home to his children. And somewhere in northern Utah, a devoted father and soldier lies in an unmarked grave, waiting for someone to finally tell the truth about where he can be found.